What I want to do in this video is explain the concept of classes, which is absolutely pivotal to C# and to programming in Unity generally. In short, a class is a way of collecting together all kinds of related behavior. Classes can contain variables and functions, which we have seen already. In general, one script file equates to one class. Notice here we have two script files, one which is player control, and that is attached to the player object and defines how the player behaves. If I select player in the hierarchy panel, you can see the player control script attached to the player object. We also have an ammo script file, which is attached to the balls of fire that emerge from the player whenever they fire their weapon. So we have two classes and two script files. If I bring up these files in MonoDevelop, you can see in the player control here, we have class player control, and this contains all of these variables and all of these functions. They all occur inside the opening and closing braces of the classes. So if I open the ammo script file, you can see we've got a closing brace and an opening brace, and all of this code between is contained inside of the class. So what I want to do in this section is really customize how this enemy works. If I press play on the toolbar and spacebar, you can see as I'm firing this, the player is able to fire ammunition. The ammunition can travel towards the enemy, but the enemy does absolutely nothing. Now, to control how this enemy works, I'm going to need to create a new class. Now, classes are everywhere in Unity. If I select the enemy, it already contains many classes. You can see it has a transform component. Well, that is a class. It has a cube component. That also is a class. A box collider, that's a class. And a mesh renderer, that is another one. But we're going to create our own class, which will control how the enemy behaves. What I want the enemy to do is to continually rotate and spin around its own y-axis. So to do that, I need to create a new script file, and I'm going to right-click in the asset pane and choose Create and select C# from the context menu to create a new C# script file. I'm going to name this enemy, like so, and press Enter on the keyboard. You can already see in the Object Inspector that Unity has automatically generated a class for me that matches the name of the script file. I'm going to double-click enemy to open that in MonoDevelop, and straight away you can see we have class enemy, and it contains two empty events. Those events are start and update. It doesn't matter that they're empty, they will do nothing if they're empty, so that's absolutely fine. We now have class enemy with start and update. I'm going to delete the start event because it's not going to help us in any way, and all I want to do is on the update event, that is on each and every frame, I want the enemy cube to continually rotate and spin on its own axis. And in fact, to help us do that, we're going to make use of the transform class. We saw that already. If I minimize MonoDevelop, you can see when I select the enemy, or even the player, or any game object, but let's take a look at the enemy, you can see it has a transform component here. This is a class, and we can make use of the functions inside that class to help us rotate the enemy object. I'll show you how to do that next.